Using the app is easy. You can now start a service request for graffiti, potholes, broken fire hydrants, damaged streets, and more issues with your smartphone. Just open our app, hit the Start Request button, choose your issue topic, submit a picture, choose your location, and describe the issue. It's that simple. Your request is then automatically sent to the correct department, and you can track your requests and communicate with the department while the issue is resolved. Download our new free app and connect with us today. Our new mobile app brings the power of our local government in the palm of your hands. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download our new app today. Using the app is easy. You can now start a service request for graffiti, potholes, broken fire hydrants, damaged streets, and more issues with your smartphone. Just open our app, hit the Start Request button, choose your issue topic, submit a picture, choose your location, and describe the issue. It's that simple. Your request is then automatically sent to the correct department, and you can track your requests and communicate with the department while the issue is resolved. Download our new free app and connect with us today. Our new mobile app brings the power of our local government in the palm of your hands. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download our new app today. Using the app is easy. You can now start a service request for graffiti, potholes, broken fire hydrants, damaged streets, and more issues with your smartphone. Just open our app, hit the Start Request button, choose your issue topic, submit a picture, choose your location, and describe the issue. It's that simple. Your request is then automatically sent to the correct department, and you can track your requests and communicate with the department while the issue is resolved. Download our new free app and connect with us today. Our new mobile app brings the power of our local government in the palm of your hands. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download our new app today. Using the app is easy. You can now start a service request for graffiti, potholes, broken fire hydrants, damaged streets, and more issues with your smartphone. Just open our app, hit the Start Request button, choose your issue topic, submit a picture, choose your location, and describe the issue. It's that simple. Your request is then automatically sent to the correct department, and you can track your requests and communicate with the department while the issue is resolved. Download our new free app and connect with us today. Our new mobile app brings the power of our local government in the palm of your hands. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download our new app today. Using the app is easy. You can now start a service request for graffiti, potholes, broken fire hydrants, damaged streets, and more issues with your smartphone. Just open our app, hit the Start Request button, choose your issue topic, submit a picture, choose your location, and describe the issue. It's that simple. Your request is then automatically sent to the correct department, and you can track your requests and communicate with the department while the issue is resolved. Download our new free app and connect with us today. Our new mobile app brings the power of our local government in the palm of your hands. Just go to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download our new app today. Using the app is easy.
Almost lost it. All right. You ready? Yeah, it should pull up. Okay. Good. It needs to restart. Okay. If you
recommended new trail connections in the green, as well as existing and future open space and parks. Next slide. The historic resources chapter, to which we've added the arts and culture element, continues the focus on protecting and leveraging and celebrating the historic resources in the town, while also identifying other potential historic resources that may exist.
Can you give us 1 second? We're having one more technology issue.
Sure, no problem.
So he has to shut down everything.
Okay. Yeah, the other people on the Zoom can't hear us. They're sending messages that they can't hear.
Okay.
Are you good? They can hear? All right. Continue, please. Sorry.
And then the arts and culture recommendations really focus on three things: programming for arts and culture, venues to support arts-related events and activities, and also identifying locations for public art to enhance the town's character and sense of place. Community and education facilities, next slide, please. Focuses on upgrading, expanding, and supporting Dumfries educational and library facilities, as well as upgrading and expanding the community facilities in the town. Next slide. And finally, the public health and safety element. This is a new element that's now a standalone focus in the plan. Really focuses to a large extent on emergency planning and emergency response, how that relates to both some of the other elements, the emerging climate, weather patterns, as well as access and connectivity. We know that emergency response has been a challenge in the past in terms of connecting and responding to emergencies. And the other focus is public safety and land use and facilities that can support mental health needs, as well as addressing gun violence, which I know has been brought up in other discussions we've had. And next slide, please. I'm going to pause here and before we get into next steps, I guess, let you all weigh in. I know you have a whole list of comments. Some of you you'd like to share, and I'll defer to you on how you want to structure that.
Okay. We'll give the Planning Commission an opportunity to speak first, because we are in a joint meeting with them. So, Chair, I'll let you to go down the line for any comments or discussions from your commission.
Thank you. We'll start with Commissioner Wood. Do you have any comments? All right, Commissioner Wood has no comments. Commissioner Borka?
Sure, thank you. In reviewing the plan, I think they've well articulated what we know and where we're going. Many of the things they're talking about, housing and improvements in roads and the wetlands, are all things we've been talking about. It's just been articulated in a way that we can convey that to the public, and so that they know the direction we're going. Certainly there's been some input from the public, not near as much as I would have liked to have had for as many residents as we have. But the plan is on pace with what we want to see happen. Now we just got to get to the action items to make it happen. Thank you.
Vice Chair?
No comments, Mr. Chair.
And I don't have any comments at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We'll go down. Councilman Fields?
All right.
Okay. Councilman Pete?
Yes, thank you guys for the presentation today. It was outstanding. Just a couple of things I wanted to highlight real quick. I like that you guys put this in a 3-part vision. That was excellent because it was kind of combined and jumbled up at first. But and also with the premier destination for Dumfries as far as for recreational entertainment and shopping goes, I was just looking over here at your mixed use hub. Were there, on the mixed use hub where the Main Street Gateway and the Main Street Commons were. We just want to know, were you guys looking at for retail in those areas, or what was the vision for that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the retail focus will be, in particular in the Main Street Gateway area, which is really that entryway into town, but also that includes the 2 shopping centers, which the plan envisions as redevelopment opportunities that could keep that retail element while transforming it into a more compact form, more walkable and connected fabric. And it will include retail opportunities, but also has the opportunity to include other uses. There could be, an employment destination or center incorporated into those development, and then certainly anywhere there's mixed use, there needs to be housing, and creating more residences close to those amenities to really support those businesses. So I think that will continue, hopefully, to be a retail hub for the town. The Main Street Commons area, there's certainly, as envisioned by your small area plan for Main Street, there are certainly opportunities for a mix of uses, and that may include retail, but also that hub the idea is to highlight the civic and cultural elements that are here now, and really kind of create a focal point for that as well.
Okay, that would be nice to see. I don't know if you're familiar with the area or not, but there was some time ago we had a whole bunch of restaurants on that end of the town here. Well, it was more so in the Triangle area going into Quantico, but that would be nice to see that sometime down in the future if we could. Well, you guys seem like you're already moving in that direction, so that's good. Thank you for the information on that. Also, another thing here in your RPA area. Are there any thoughts of trails or ideas for that area, or can we even do anything in those areas? Because I do notice that we have a large area of that, which is kind of in the back of the Williamstown area and rolls over into the Possum Point area. Are there any walkable trails or anything for that area at this time?
We've identified, if we want to go back to the Parks and Recreation map, or even the framework map, let's see. Yeah, actually, if we go back to the plan framework map early on.
I see it rolls over into the water district here.
Yeah, you can see those the green lines that extend it into the RPA in certain areas. That's the vision for some of those potential connections, and that could include things like boardwalks along the waterfront and sort of blueway trails that for boat rentals and opportunities to navigate Quantico Creek, and trails along stream corridors as well. So the answer is yes. The idea of trails and the RPA go hand in hand, and certainly are compatible.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And one more thing is, and then I'm finished up here. As far as for the economical growth, I see that this mentioned faintly of retail within the vision plan there. Can we make sure we highlighting that also? Because our citizens are screaming for some retail in this area.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
emphasize that in the plan.
Okay, Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, sir, for your presentation and for joining us tonight. We do appreciate the work that's been put into updating the comprehensive plan. But I do have a couple areas of concern. One thing that I raised very early on is that there wasn't enough emphasis in Dumfries and how we are as a town and how the government flows. It seems that some of the recommendations do not take into account the services that the county provides, and it seems to be an emphasis that Dumfries is going to increase the library as well. I asked early on how familiar the preparers of document were with the town, because we don't run the library system.
Yeah.
So it's a little disheartening to see it in the final recommendation. And another thing, when I go over to transportation, when you're talking about routes of public transportation, that is another thing that the county handles. So is your recommendation that we create a transit system? Is it to partner? Because it just seems like a copy paste job, just quite frank, just being honest. So what is the recommendation there? Is it for us to work with the county? Is it for us to get our own buses? Like what is the spirit of that recommendation?
Yeah, I think it needs to be more of a regional vision. That's, the town can be a key partner in that, but certainly you can't go it alone. And
Oh, no, absolutely. And we are a regional partner. We do work with MVTA, and we have worked with them, but I just would like to see more care put into the document. Because when you say increase your public transportation, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I need to see that in there. But with that, I'll yield up.
we can certainly elaborate on that in the next draft and make sure that that's clear and all of the partners who need to be involved.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor, if I could also respond.
The Chair Pro Tem,
Sure.
yes.
Go ahead. Eden.
Thank you. Also, I don't know if it was clear in the presentation. I'm sorry, we had issues with the audio at the beginning, but the actions within the recommendations do specify working with the county on some of those services, and that is less clear in the policy language, but once you get into the step-by-step actions, it's clear whether the town should be working with the county or other partners.
Renato, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yes. Hi, how's it going? I would like to say that we did talk to representatives from OmniRide, and we discussed at length the opportunities that the town could have with public transportation. One of the things that came up was, as really important, was microtransit. So everything, I understand your concerns, and I think we could elaborate further on those issues if that's what you prefer.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry, Tim Andrews.
Oh, Tim Jefferson.
Just for clarification, if the council or the planning commission has suggested changes, will y'all take those back, incorporate it in the final document to ensure that they have a comp plan that's reflective of the town of Dumfries?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have one more iteration of, this is a draft we're at right now, and we have one more iteration of the plan that our intent is to take into account all of the comments we've received and make the necessary revisions. And we've been working with Reggie to compile all comments, both from staff and council and planning commission.
Okay, would we be able to provide input before y'all put that final draft?
Yes, yeah, we would love to have that input so we can make the revisions. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, Councilman Young.
Yes, thank you. In reviewing this plan, is there anything in here as far as, or could you add anything as far as the Route 1 widening project in between the time period of its starting construction to its completion to be added to the plan as far as what we can do in between that time period? Because I know that I guess a generous part of Route 1 right now heading north is going to be implemented, but with the widening project, you're going to take out some of the businesses and some of those retail spaces we were talking about.
So in terms of, like interim recommendations, yes, that are a step towards that the 20-year time frame of the plan, but address some of the impacts that are occurring as part of the widening project. Yeah, we certainly, we have looked forward, to the completion of that project, but we can certainly address some of the near-term strategies to manage the impacts associated with that.
So I guess the updated or the changes that town manager just mentioned, you'll be implementing those or put those into like an updated plan?
Yes, we can incorporate those.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mayor? Yeah.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Ditto everyone's comments about thanking you for your time and being here and putting this document together. I don't want to harp too much on Pro Tem's point about the language used in the plan. But it is important that when we look through these recommendations, because a novice not completely familiar with what we've done and the effort that has gone into this would pick this up and more likely go straight to the recommendations. Mm-hmm. And then that's what we would be held accountable to our constituents about are the recommendations. So I think it's very important that the language is comprehensive in the way that it says that we need to, do our part to work with our county partners and not so that we aren't held responsible for increase in transportation and things of that nature. So please put a lot of emphasis on that and make sure that it is understandable, the position that we are in and that we have to work with our county partners and can't be held completely responsible for those outcomes. So thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to emphasize to our council really is the importance of intentionality in our decisions. And I say that because as I look at the plan framework, it talks about the mixed use hubs. And one of the developments, for instance, included on here, the Main Street Commons, that was originally zoned as a mixed use hub, but we took a vote as a council and we authorized rezoning of that particular area to all residential, which directly contradicts what we're now talking about as far as this plan framework and having mixed use retail areas, et cetera, within our community. And the fact that it's contradictory, I just want us to make sure that we are intentional with our decision making so that we don't end up in a situation where, because we also have another developer who originally was supposed to do a certain amount of retail, and then as they were nearing the finish line, they came back and they made changes to what we were getting when it comes to retail. So I think we need to make sure that we are diligent and intentional. And the reality of it is if we are serious about supporting this plan as it's mapped out and our vision to have this vibrant, sustainable community with walkability, et cetera, then we have to make sure that we're holding ourselves and the developers accountable to what the original plan was, which is mixed use. At this point, in 1.5 square miles or so, we already have 6,000 residents. So we have the density to support the right mix of commercial businesses. And we need to focus on what we have and make sure that the businesses that we're trying to bring here are reflective of our community and be intentional with all of that. So I implore the council to really take those thoughts into consideration and make sure that when we are making these decisions, we're doing so with the big picture in mind. Thank you.
Thank you for all the work. Just a question, why this first draft, why did we leave out just the implementation at the end? Why did we leave that blank? Because we only get 2 drafts, right? So we're only going to get we're only going to get to look at the implementation page at the end?
Yeah, that was, I think, a decision to get your feedback and on the actions and then before, and also we'd love your feedback as well as on what you see as the priority actions that really should be emphasized in the near and midterm, and those can be highlighted in the implementation strategy. So that's our next step once we've
I guess my question, so will we get a second look at the implementation, or when you bring it, because I think you said we only get a second draft.
Yeah.
And so in this first draft, it was just blank.
Yeah, I mean, that, I guess I can defer to Reggie. I mean, there may be a way to share an interim draft of the implementation while we're doing the rest of the revisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure we get our money. All right. Thank you for that.
And that's something we'll be working on collaboratively.
Just wanted to make sure, because that was a huge thing that was missing. I think in our initial meeting, when we all met and talked about this, we talked about some gaps in the 2018 plan and some of the things we wanted to see in 2025. And I don't know if it wasn't written, but we wanted to identify departments. We wanted to identify funding sources and things like that. And I don't think this document is missing an opportunity where we wanted to really improve on the 2018 plan, 2014 one that was written.
Okay.
And so to be able to put those, identify those. Also, I think it's important that we add the different type of grant programs that we can go after in there, from the Main Street to economic development, as policy initiatives in there, if we can kind of continue to include all of those, as well as the awards for Smart City. I think we left out lead. We had lead in the 2018, but we didn't have any green certification type stuff in this plan. So I think it's an opportunity to bring some of those same good elements we had in the previous plan and to continue to put it in there.
Yeah, we'll work with budget to identify the funding sources that we know exist. I will caveat that by noting that, as we all know, the funding landscape is changing dramatically as we speak, and it remains to be seen what's still relevant for the coming years. So we'll do the best we can.
The biggest blatant push for the county in this that kind of stood out was in the land use and livability for me, where the opportunity said was to encourage the development of additional industrial and manufacturing use along Fedler Park Drive. So that was kind of like that was the only one that really jumped out at me. That was Blair. I seen in some of the policy ones where you did it, but we can encourage, but I don't know how we see that as an opportunity, because the county kind of controls Fedler Park Drive. I think in the original document, before it was developed, we were looking to try to annex it or do a boundary line adjustment, but that didn't happen. And so I don't know if that was a carryover from the last document, but in the land use and livability, page 46, we talked about that. I kind of scratched my head on it. I think I pulled up a map late last night and started zooming in and was just trying to figure out how we can encourage any type of development over there on that. Historical, on the historical, you talk about a historical overlay and the Architectural Review Board and historic. Can somebody speak to, I guess, with the plan? It says 10% of our current town area has historic resources. And so we're talking about preserving this historical overlay district. And I don't know if Mr. Reggie or somebody, do we still have a historical overlay district on this map? If y'all can point it out. No, some say no. Planning commissioner is saying no. It's a because I highlighted that up here too. I was like, where's this historical overlay district, and how does it?
There is indeed, and we'll make sure that it's pointed out on the zoning map. But of course, the Architectural Review Board administers and issues certificates of appropriateness for proposed development within the established historic district, and that is the overlay district. But we'll make sure that it's on the maps.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to, so if somebody saw it, to the vice mayor's point, they looked at this map, would they know that we had a historic overlay district? And if we can really define that in policy, like if we're going to have a historic walking trail, if we're going to identify, are we going to go after state funding for the historic? Are we going to get it in the national registry for historical buildings like the Henderson House, like those type of things? And I think we have an opportunity to touch on that in the policy document as well. I wanted to go back to the vision because you talked about taking our strategic plan, and then this vision that you started out with in the beginning. I think you explained it a little bit because you said it's broken down in 3. Because when I initially read it, I thought you were just trying to turn the vision into a slogan. But on the strategic plan, we had a vision for a Dumfries with a thriving Main Street district and a well-managed government and an engaged citizens. And you guys kind of took that. What was your idea from the strategic plan to the comp plan on creating the vision statement there?
I think I'll defer to my colleague Eden, who has that institutional knowledge on that decision.
Hi. Yes. So we created these vision statements by pulling in information from the initial engagement period, as well as the town strategic plan and conversations with staff and elected officials yourselves. And so it's more than just a summary, or it's not just statements distilled down from the town strategic plan. It's incorporating that information into a vision that includes other components that we heard. Am I hearing you correctly that you would like us to move back toward what is in the strategic plan, or did I mishear?
If I could, Mr. Mayor and Council. So the comprehensive plan is land-based and focused on land use. So within the town strategic plan, of the 3 major elements, the one that's focused on land use and land development is the one that we focused on in the comprehensive plan update.
Thank you, sir. Okay. I'm just going to I got just one last thing I'm going to touch on economic growth and development section. I just wanted a little bit more clarity on encouraging the development of additional light industrial manufacturing use along Fetler Park Drive and the 234 Crossroads. Well, it's 2 different things. You got 234 Hub, and then you got Fetler Park. So I just wanted to...
If I could, Mr. Mayor and Council and Commission. So we have been working with the Prince William County Department of Planning and also Economic Development as they are completing a Fetler Park area study. And that study includes parts of the county and also parts of the town, especially along Route 234. So this language that's in the draft comp plan picked up some of that, but we as Chair Pro Tem, Vice Mayor, and others of council have mentioned we'll clean up that language and make sure that it's clear what we're talking about when we talk about parts of or areas that are not within the town.
Okay, Town Manager.
Mr. Tabor, would you be able to provide us with a timeline that the council will see a document with the implementation plan so they can at least get a chance to weigh in on that before the final document, before the final draft is presented?
Yes. So I guess we have some submitted comments, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we will be able to incorporate those comments into a document and share the revised document with council. the time frame for consideration of approval is driven by council and the commission. And so however long it takes for us to get it right, that's, how long we will take before it's brought to you and also adopted.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. Vice Mayor.
Really quickly, and maybe this is a question for Mr. Tabor and the town manager specifically. As I look at the plan framework, the entertainment district, I recognize that's right over there by Rosie's. What is Town Park? Is that a development that's coming?
That's the park on top of the landfill, the former landfill.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Because when I look at it and it shows the entertainment district as a mixed use hub, who lives over there? Are we talking about it being mixed use because there's a couple of houses or a house in front of?
More so the hotel, the hospitality, gaming, restaurants, restaurant uses, and then of course in phase 2 there will be the conference center. So not residential, but other uses.
Okay, so that
mixture of other uses.
Thank you for that clarification. That was my ignorance. I assumed that mixed use was simply residential and commercial.
Yeah.
So I misunderstood that. Thank you for the clarification.
All right, Councilman Pete, 1 minute.
For you also, Mr. Tabor, for clarity, as I see on here that this the mixed use hub for the Main Street Commons, what are we currently at there? What is that zone for currently?
Primarily along Main Street, it's B2 or neighborhood business, and along Route 1 or Fraley, it's B1.
Okay. All right. Thank you much.
All right. Did you all have anything else before we have to close down and get ready? Okay, Chairman.
Yeah, I just want to add to what Vice Mayor was saying, and actually, Chair Pro Tem, it kind of seemed to me, because, y'all came to us in front of the Planning Commission as well, and we talked through a few things, like the fact that starting out this race, we're already different from what we originally planned, with the retail being cut out in a couple of places. But when I look at this, it's as if it's not. It's personal to Chair Pro Tem's point. Did you take that information in consideration when coming back with this? Because it's still pushing it as if all that ability is there, and we know it's not there. That's a big concern for me, because more residential, and I've heard that mentioned a few times, is not really what we need. We have enough of that. We need to be strategic about how we're going to get our retail up at this point. So that's all I have.
All right, at this time, we will adjourn this meeting so we can get ready for a 7 o'clock council meeting.